Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here on another nice Sunday afternoon, starting the day with a fast main track, a firm turf course this afternoon, and lots of good wagering all throughout the day with this 10-race card. And just a little later on, we're going to have a $700,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six. Of course, we always have those two pick fives early and late and two pick fours on the 10-race card. About $40,000 in the early pick five pool already. So we'll go right into the first race this afternoon with a 7-furlong sprint. These are maiden claimers 3 and up. They run for $16,000. We're going to have 7 in the field today. I went with the inside horse who's currently 3-1 early in the wagering, and that's Macho Real, who's dropping to the $16,000 level on the main track. You go look at its last race, vied for the lead, weakened to finish 5th. It was against those 25 maidens. That was going a mile into 16th on the turf. So I looked up a stat on Georgina Baxter. Just when horses going from turf to dirt, maiden claimers, these are sprints, 4 for 11, 36%, 64% in the money, and 212 is the return of investment. That's just over the last couple of years. So I thought with that stat, maybe I would take a chance and try and upset the current 8-5 favorite. I don't know who's going to end up being favored, but that horse that's taking the early money, and you can understand why, is the number 2, Union Gap, who's wheeling back after responding to both a class relief last time out and the turn back in distance with that second place finish behind that repeat winner called Chip Shape at this level and distance. So just off that performance, you would think this horse is going to be tough in the open. And then one other horse I had some interest in, currently 9-2, and that's Muda Camille. And this one is the number 6, is dropping and turning back after showing speed when going long against 25 maidens going 8.5 furlongs on the turf. So I think the speed on the grass, turning back to 7/8 is one of my favorite angles. But the 6 and 2 are doing the same exact thing. We'll see which one works better in that race. Flipping the page, going to race number 2. We're on the turf about 7.5. These are maiden special weight filly, 3-year-olds. Pretty nice race with 10 runners in the field. No scratches, no jockey changes. And I kicked it off in here. It's the number 2 in this race, and it's Champagne Ivy, who's going to turn back to 7.5 furlongs, broke from an outside post. Matter of fact, we'll just go show you this horse's last race just before the 8 pole when she's really in tight quarters. You're going to see her there. She is that number, right in the center there, and you just see her. She's had that trouble. She's in tight quarters. Just thought that maybe with a good performance, and they were just ding-donging it to the wire, and I thought she ran very well. She's the number 10 between horses there. So it just wanted to show you, tight quarters. Looks like she clips heels right at the end. So I don't know if that cost the race, but certainly there was a disqualification, and that horse finished where it was placed second when they took the winner down. So there was some trouble there right at the wire. Whether Champagne Ivy was going to win, I'm not that quite sure, but certainly ran very well. Tough when you're stuck in between horses, and one horse is drifting over and makes you clip heels. So put that into the memory bank when you're putting your early pick 4 ticket together. The number 9, Endless Front, is a daughter of Super Turf sire Warfronts. I love Warfront sires on the turf. Debuts for Todd Pletcher. Solid work tab showing on both turf and dirt up at Palm Beach Downs. MSCL Jaramillo rides a really regally bred sophomore. Love those Warfronts on the grass. And talking about good size on the grass, the 6, Kitten Tails, daughter of Kitten's Joy, half-sister to a Grade 1 stakes place runner called Paige. Going to debut for Christophe Clement with Lasix. Slew of solid workouts showing on the turf up at Payson Park. Barn is pretty good with first-time starters. Joe Bravo being the saddle. Clement has 2 winners, both those winners ridden by Joe Bravo. So they've been teaming up pretty good so far early on in the spring meet. So for me in race number 2, once again, it's 2, 6, 2, 9, and number 6. Turning the page once again, going to race 3. And this one is a mile on the turf. It's an allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds. The optional tag is $75,000. Really nice race. 10 in the field this afternoon. Another race with no scratches on it. And I went with the 3 horse in here, the right stuff, the British bred, who's debuting locally after following its maiden victory with a press to pace and weakened 5th. It was a 75 Columbia. It was up on the Tampa turf. Once again, Christophe Clement, but puts Paco Lopez in the saddle today. And this is a speedy son of See the Stars. That's why I think they're going with Paco, who's that aggressive rider. I like the fact that this horse has some speed, and I like the combination of the speed and Paco Lopez. The 2, Yes this time is stepping up the competition today after using his speed to post back-to-back victories against those $50,000 starter optional claimers for trainer Kelly Breen, Edwin Gonzalez. Edwin Gonzalez tied on top of the standings with Edgar Zayas. They both have 11 victories early on. So Edwin Gonzalez joining us up from up north and has been just riding great. Paco Lopez was on this horse. Now moving to the right stuff, so we got a little bit of musical jockeys in there. The number 6, Likeable, nicely bred, $350,000 son of Frosted. Going to give the turf a whirl this afternoon. You look at its last couple of races. He showed speed and faded on the dirt. That was in both the Grade 3 Swale Stakes right here and back in November in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So they think highly of this horse. They're going to try the turf this afternoon for Todd Pletcher. He's going to add Lasix. Edgar Zayas, who I mentioned, is in the tie with Edwin Gonzalez for leading jockey here early on in the spring meeting. So a really nice race, compact field, but nice field, but I think they're going to run very well in that spot. Flipping the page, go to race number 4. It's 1 mile, maiden special weight, fillies and mares, 3 and up. 5 in the field here, and one of those horses. We've got a lot of Champagne horses today. Champagne Salute is stretching out to the mile. Stalked the pace and faded behind the next out Grade 1 Ashland Stakes runner-up. That was past the Champagne. There's that Champagne theme again. And the next out maiden winner called Another Woman going 7 furlongs. But check out this stat on Todd Pletcher. Second start, sprint to route, maiden special weights on the dirt right here at Gulfstream. He's 12 for 34. That's 35%. He's in the money 85% of the time with a $2.42 return of investment. Just when you see that stat, you say, holy mackerel. I'm sure a lot of those horses are during the championship meet, but Todd, he's got his presence felt here in the spring, and I think this horse can run well. Another couple of horses in this compact field of 5. What about Potion? The 3 makes her 3-year-old debut. She showed some speed and promise in her 3-race Frenchman campaign up north from Michael Matz, Ed's Lasix, and there you go. You get Edwin Gonzalez in the saddle today. So Edgard against Edwin. We'll see how that plays out. And the number 2, High Tech, is back. Stretches out to the mile today after showing speed and fading. That was a pair of special weight races going 3/4 of a mile. Juanavilla, Leonel Reyes atop this order of outwork is certainly bred to love this mile distance. So quickly, that was the first 4 races on the card. I'm going to catch my breath. When I come back, I'll give you my Rainbow 6 ticket.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground by Hurts inside. Race. And a 1/4 of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here, and so we're going to start with the Rainbow 6. First, we'll show you my tickets. The starts in the 5th race this afternoon, and I got a $38.40 ticket. 2 deep in here with Mr. Einstein, Liam Starr, and then 2 deep in the 6th race with the Rain Man and Gemmo. I think those are the logical 2. 3 deep, really nice turf race there. Red flag alert. He ain't no saint in the 9. Coach Paul 1, 6, and 9, and then in race number 8, just a couple of horses with Classy B. And Iberio Forever had a scratch in that race. And then Gitana in She's All Woman in race number 9. I got lots of coverage. I think the last is wide open, but I did use Competti on top of my ticket, Peter Walder and Paco Lopez. So we'll see how that ticket plays out. $38.40. Sort of seems pretty formful to me in a couple of these earlier races. As I mentioned with this race number 5 with Mr. Einstein, just want to go back and show you this horse's last race. And we're going to see this horse just, going in soon after the start. We're going to see him. He is right there. He is the number 10. I mean, he's the number 11 that day. And you're just going to see him right here. He's just going to get, a little bit of trouble. We missed it there. There he is coming in the stretch. We had he had clipped heel, he had stumbled a little bit. I missed it, or we didn't show it right there. But he closes nicely to be second in there. So I thought he ran well. He clipped heel. He stumbled soon after the start. And it was just very brief. So there he goes, and he runs second in that race. That is the number 11 that day. Going to be the number 7, Mr. Einstein. He cuts back to the mile, shakes off trouble at the start. As I mentioned, he finished that late closing second. It's Mike Maker. It's Edgar Zayas. The number 6, Liam Starr, is going to turn back to this mile distance, encountered traffic last time. He comes out of that same race. He was bumped, checked, finishing fourth behind Mr. Einstein last time out. So there was some trouble in that race. Joe Orsino has Paco Lopez. What a day Paco had yesterday. 3,000 victories. We'll talk about him later on. He had a 4-win day. And the number 1, Fear the Deer. And this one is a son of Declaration of War. I like that. Drop it to the 16 level this afternoon after tracking the pace, finishing 6th against 25 maidens, going a mile and a 16th for Larry Bates. Edwin Gonzalez handling the inside post this afternoon. So 7, Mr. Einstein, the 6, Liam Starr, and the number 1, Fear the Deer in race number 5. And as I mentioned, that kicks off the Rainbow Six with $700,000 jackpot guarantee. Race 6 on the main track, 6 furlongs. Claim is 3-year-olds or 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life. Field of 6 in here. I do have the number 6, the Rain Man, on top, who's cutting back to 3/4 of a mile after stalking the pace and finishing second and neck in front of the horse we're going to talk about, Gemmo. That was going 6.5 furlongs for Gilberto Zerper. MCL Jaramillo in the saddle. Now, Gemmo, this one goes to the Mauricio Fuentes barn after that claim and cuts back to 6 furlongs. We're going to show Gemmo in this particular race, especially the start here, where this horse, you'll see this horse, the number 3, just, spots the field. There you see 2 or 3 lengths at the start. And then we're going to, of course, flip to the stretch run. And you're just going to watch this horse. He does a pretty good job. Now he's going to turn for home. He's right there between horses. And watch this. There's a lot of ding-dong in here in the stretching. The horses brushing each other. Sure, the one over there is the Rain Man, is the number 6 in this race. So Gemmo spotted him that, 3 or 4 lengths at the start. And then they sort of brush each other here and then end up finishing, both of them end up finishing well. But if you go by the start, maybe you flip-flop the Rain Man and Gemmo this afternoon after spotting him those lengths at the start. The other horse I had some interest was the 5, Cash Now. And this also is going to turn back to 6 panels after vying for the lead and weakening to finish 4th behind those horses. Comes out of that race. So everybody turning back a little bit to 3/4 after that race at 6.5. And Gemmo had the biggest excuse in the field with that slow break. Race number 7 on the turf. 1 mile. I think it's a good betting race. Mile on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up. $16,000. Do have a scratch in here of the 7. I went with the inside horse in here, and that is Red Flag Alert, who's dropping to the 16 level this afternoon. Going to wear blinkers also after stalking the pace throughout and finishing 3rd against 25 maidens. George Weaver is the trainer, and he's got Edgar Zayas handling the 2nd start back from his almost an 8-month layoff. So I just think this horse is in a logical spot, and I think he's a big, a short price on the line. I should say 9 to 5 on the morning line, and probably rightly so. The number 6, He Ain't No Saint, is stretching out to a mile, hoping the latest distance switch helps improve on that trio of second-place finishes as the favorite against this level of competition. So a little bit of chandelier with this horse. Jose Pinchin, MCL Jaramillo trying to improve on that chalk-burning status. Coach Paul stretches out just a little bit today to the mile after rallying to come within just a nose of breaking his maiden. That was at the about 7.5 furlong distance for Rich Silvestri is the trainer. Angel Arroyo will be in the saddle. So for me, in race 7, the 1, Red Flag Alert, the 6, He Ain't No Saint, and the number 6, Coach Paul. Going to race number 8 this afternoon. Last 3 are on the main track on Sunday afternoon. Race 8, 6 furlongs. Claim is fillies, 3-year-olds, or fillies and mares 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, $6,250. Couple of scratches in here of the 6 and the number 10. And I went with the number 9, Classy Beast, who's stepping up, stretching out. If you go back and look at this horse's last race, Drew Clear is the 3 to 5 favorite to wallop those 6,252 lifetime foes. Won that race by 8 lengths. Francisco D'Angelo, Mr. Paco Lopez in the saddle this afternoon. The 2, a Barrio Forever. This one is coming back to 3/4 of a mile today after rallying to finish second. Was beaten about 3/4 of a length against this level of competition. That was going 6.5 furlongs. This horse seems to be lately stuck in second gear. Maybe could turn it around with the 6 furlong distance this afternoon. Miss Big Spring, now in the Javier Negrete barn. This 4-year-old has speed, the rail, and a chance to be part of the pace, I believe, this afternoon. Maybe steal it with Leonel Reyes. I love when Leonel Reyes is on horses that you might get a little bit of a price on. And the other horse I threw on the ticket just to mention was Acor. Gets a slew of changes today when she drops, goes to the dirt, stretches out. She had those series of clunkers against better sprinting on the grass. So 9, 2, 1, and 3 for me in race number 8. The 9th race this afternoon, we did have a scratch in here of Lulan, 5-2, second choice on the board. I like that horse this afternoon, but going to wait for another day. It's a 6 furlong starter allowance. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, started for $25,000 or less. The number 2, Gitana, is hoping to get away from, go back, I should say, to her winning ways. She had a really impressive 2-race win streak, and when she dueled for the lead, she finished second. It was against a solid group of 25 optional claimers. Trainer Rohan Crichton, Emissy Al Jaramillo in the saddle, and I think with the scratch of Luan makes the number 2 look just a little bit better. The 3, She's All Woman, wheels back today. After dueling throughout, finishing third, it was against those 35 condition claimers. Going this same distance of 6 furlongs for Bob Hess Jr. Paco Lopez atop the daughter of Macho Man. And Catherine Rush going to change barns, going to the Liz Doble's barn after the claim. Steps up the competition, got speed, got the inside post, been in good form, but it's against tougher. I think the pension for finishing second, I think finished second 5 times. So we'll see if Catherine Rush can get that extra charge and get the job done this afternoon. And when I put my Rainbow 6 ticket together, I told you I went a little deep in here. You know, I like Competti. I think it was 6-1 on the morning line, but I just think this horse can run well on the inside. Now in the Peter Walder barn, it's a daughter of Competitive Edge, has been training really well since ending her campaign at Gulfstream Park West with poor showings, one on the turf, one on the dirt. So Peter Walder, he's good with new additions to the shed row. He's got Paco handling the inside draw, trying to get a little bit of price. The big favorite is going to be the number 10, Piper. 2-1 on the morning line. She has a claiming tag sliced in half today after showing speed and finishing 5th and 3rd, respectively, in a pair of $25,000 state-bred sprints. The trainer is Juan Alvarado, and you got Edgar Zayas in the saddle. And then the number 5, Playetta, is another trying the 12-5 maidens today after returning from the freshening to finish a track and fade 7th, right behind Piper last time out. So both of them getting some class relief this afternoon. Rodolfo Garcia has Miguel Vasquez named to ride. Edgar's going to move up to the, ride the logical horse in here, and that's the 10. Piper, the other horse I added was the number 2 on the inside. Kayla's Time. I think Raptoon might be able to grab a share in there. So that's how I see the 10-race card this afternoon. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have the ever-popular lightning round. Right back. Welcome back to Gulfstream today, and welcome back. It is time for the lightning round, and we sort of alluded to the fantastic day that Paco Lopez had. He gets his 3,000th victory. He got it in the first race, but there he is up there, and we're just going to show you when he got his 4th win of the afternoon in just a couple of moments, but there you see him coming back, and that was in the first race, and there's his whole family. It was a very exciting time, and we'll see how he does throughout the day. Like I said, he gets 3,000, and Paco, certainly one of the most colorful guys you'll ever want to hang out with here in South Florida. So he gets his 3,000 win. And here he is getting number 4. I just thought he ran very well in this race, to get up and win it at the wire. So Paco knocks 4 wins, so he's already on his way to 4,000. There he is, the typical Paco looking all around and gets the job done. Got some interesting race from around the country today in the lightning round. And what about Rachel Blackmore, who becomes the first female jockey to win the Grand National? If you haven't watched the Grand National, you have to. They jump over about 4,000 fences. It's just amazing, and she's the first female jockey to win the Grand National, and it is a tough race to win. Congratulations to her. And then some local news with Known Agenda, the Florida Derby winner. He had his leaving today, actually, for Kentucky. He had his final work on Friday. Of course, you can see those works at expressbet.com, and here is Known Agenda winning the Curlin Florida Derby. Just wanted to give you a little rewind. He's on his way to Kentucky. Would certainly be rooting for the connections with the Known Agenda. So he's got that work. You want to see the work? expressbet.com. Going back across the pond, this is an interesting story, too. A trainer, I should say, Kerry Breon, becomes the first American trainer to train a hurdle winner in Ireland. She was an assistant to Jonathan Shepard. She's come over and she just did a fantastic job. So really good information here across the border, and congratulations to all the connections involved in there. She becomes the first American. That is amazing, to win a jump race over where it's very popular in Ireland. So that is the lightning round. Good luck with your selections throughout the day. I'll be back here throughout the afternoon. We're going to have some fun on Sunday afternoon.
And they're off. Second in the two path. Ground off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.